They have too many merchandise, so what happens? And they order wrong. They have so many plasma TV. Nobody was buying plasma. They didn't look at that technology is changing, and LCD is taking over plasma. So they had too much inventory of plasma TV. So what happened when a company have too much inventory of merchandise? What they do to get rid of it?
Reduce price?
They sell even at below their cost to just look at the automotive. Same thing, they had too much inventory of some cars. So either way, it's very costly to companies when they have.
So basically, it's going to be a little bit difficult to be in the happy medium.
If anybody had that knowledge of, if you become a good forecaster, my God, you'd be a multimillionaire. Nobody have that crystal ball, but you science of forecasting, and you work in a company, science of forecasting, because forecasting goes with planning. If you're not a good forecaster, you can't plan. And honestly, I think we need to offer detail. We need to offer classes that the whole semester you spend on forecasting. There should be honestly, I think it should be even a certificate, a degree in forecasting. I always say that. Because forecasting makes or breaks company. Forecasting makes or breaks countries. Forecasting is the key to success of companies, governments, everything, because it's all based on forecast. And we are in recession because somebody didn't forecast correctly years ago that was going to happen. So how are we going to come out? Nobody thought unemployment is going to reach double digit. Well, just in 1 year, from 7%. I was here last August. And everybody, and they said, come here, California, we're going to come out. Huge mistake on my side. Took this job coming, I came in the worst time. Looking, at unemployment in California jumping 5% in 1 year. Who would have forecasted that? And look, and things are, they're saying, even they're forecasting next year. Look at our budgets are cut, we took 10% pay cut. And next year they're saying, even they're forecasting worse. So, because nobody understands forecasting. Government, the state, the governor here, the office of governor didn't do good forecasting. They always do what? They remedy the situation after it happens. Shouldn't be this way. We shouldn't be in this mess. We shouldn't have pay cut. We shouldn't be cutting classes. Now they're cutting classes, they're furloughs day, we have to cut some classes because faculties have some furloughs days. Because nobody forecasted, nobody was prepared, nobody planned that, hey, this is going to happen. We should be ready. We should be ready to plan. But what they do, they wait till the tragedy happens, then what they come? They come find some short-term solution. Laying off people, budget cuts, these are always after the fact. Like roof comes down and then it's okay, now let me find this solution. The roof came down, let me find what can I do. What should it come down? You should do a good job. But we don't offer classes in forecasting. We just touch on forecasting. Companies need to send all of their employees to some seminar to understand forecasting. Government, anybody that is in anything, any decision process, decision making capacity, have to go and take some seminar in forecasting and have to understand forecasting, because forecasting is a science that nobody understands it very well and nobody has a crystal ball, but as more you understand it, as less problem you're going to have in future. There are many methods for forecasting. We would continue on this week. Quantitative method, and there are weight, moving average, exponential smoothing, regression model. There are a lot of mathematical models. There are some unmathematical models. They're what they call it, naive forecasting, like to say, okay, I'm thinking, personal feeling, but there is a lot of method in forecasting, and we would, as I said, continue with forecasting next week. One very popular forecasting is Delphi method. Companies use this method more than other methods in forecasting because Delphi uses many different, they use survey, they use some different approaches and they bring it into together. But there are still none of this forecasting has been completely foolproof. If it was, we wouldn't be this mess, One type of Delphi method that he uses survey and uses participant and questionnaires, and he gives to this report, and then it comes back. I want to forecast what classes you're going to be taking. I would probably can use Delphi method. I would be asking, okay, how many are we going to be taking 602 class? Looking at, so we can offer. Again, it's not even, we don't do a good job. Look, hey, some of you keep coming and you want a permission number. We don't have it. The situation is nobody did a good forecasting here that classes you need to offer enough classes or make it, that, because again, all this thing comes back to forecasting. And next semester, I hope it's not a mess as it was this semester. I'm spending 2 weeks trying, to tell you, I said, I can't give you some permission number because there is no permission number. Some classes are, when we reach some limit, we can. But all this thing happens because of poor forecasting. The Delphi method uses questionnaire, it uses many methods, and some of this is not really complicated. Like here, we ought to figure out how many are we going to be taking some classes next semester. So we offer enough of those classes that we know you're going to be taking. And then, when you do decent forecasting, then your efficiency, your productivity going to go up. Because of poor forecasting, here, personally, I was affected. I'm spending the first 2 weeks here trying, to remedy this situation. I said, I can't, I'm spending a lot of time. I have to shift people from one class to other class. There's no room. All these things because of forecasting. So see, forecasting is affecting all of us life. So next week, when we're doing that online, I want you to look at this topic. I'll put another lecture there, and it's managerial forecasting. Next lecture that I'll put there is managerial forecasting. Do you understand forecasting? Now what you, as manager or as engineer, can do to do a good forecasting. And we open up the discussion, and now you have some good understanding of planning and forecasting. And now when you go in, I want you to be very active in that discussion. And I want you to read, because there's also audio lecture, and be prepared to discuss forecasting, especially your research assignment 1 touches on planning and forecasting, strategic planning of innovative company. Any question about planning, forecasting, and key term in planning, forecasting, mission, vision, goals, because you have to research that. You have to understand the key term. And there is a lot of stuff also on internet. Normally, every time, these are stuff I want you to do. Every time before class, I sit down and find the very latest one that I put here. It's time consuming. I have a student that worked with me, Muhammad. He said, you spent a lot of time. He thought teaching was easy. I said, it's not. He said, if you do things right, you have to spend time with the latest thing. You have to look that day, what's happening that week, in order to have updated material. Because things 6 months ago, I didn't know what Walmart is doing. Now this is the new plan Walmart is doing with reshaping of their strategic management, planning. They want to take over some other competition. They're using recession as opportunity. These are the stuff that you as engineer, as manager, you have to be prepared to do for your company, to be on top of things. And I want you to learn this thing. This process is daily process, weekly process. You read and read, and you have internet at your disposal. So you can read about a lot of this information and adjust your learning according to that. These are the stuff I want you to bring. Put it in discussion board. So next week, you put something there. I want you have seen something and you put it, and we would discuss. So each one of you want to look at this topic area of forecasting and find something challenging. And I'll give you an example of what Walmart did today. The news came out. It's all kinds of things that is going on with companies. And you put that on discussion board, then you make your research assignment based on that. Any other question before we wrap this lecture on planning and